Yo, yo, what's going on, ladies and gentlemen? Happy Sunday evening. I am going to, in this video, talk about a common question I get asked a lot, which is, what does a winning ad look like? All right. So you're going to be doing creative testing. You're going to be doing a lot of creative testing. Only, 5 to 10% of the creatives you test are actually going to perform. What do those performers look like, right? That's what we're talking about today. If it's not already obvious, this one with a 2.35 ROAS and 500 in spend so far is the one that we're going to be using as an example here. And in this video, I'm going to talk about what metrics I look for to determine this as something that can be scaled, which is what I'm going to attempt to do. So the very first thing that I want to talk about is the obvious, right? Which is if it's giving you a better return on ad spend than most of your other creatives that you're testing, well, it's better, right? Now, how do we know that when we increase the budgets on this, that it's scalable, right? And that's now where actually increasing the budgets, you can see I started these at 35, and I upped this a couple of days ago to 65. The reason I do that, right, is to see, can it hold scale? And the reason I scale things where they lie on the creative testing section is because I want to see, can it hold scale? And you can see some of them not always will. Like this one here, I increased to 65. It didn't, right? So, as well as this one here, as well as this one here, right? These all had an increase in ad spend, but did not hold. And that's what I want to get at. Not everything that you increase the ad spend of, if it's performing at a low budget, will perform at a higher budget. This one that's in question included, right? So what I'm going to continue to do here is increase this budget to see, will it be able to maintain. Now there's a few things that I actually that it has, few metrics that it has that are leading me to believe that this will be able to maintain more scale. And I want to talk about those. So first thing I want to talk about is going to be the cost per click. We have a really cheap cost per click on this compared to the average on the on this creative testing campaign, which is $2.30. We're averaging over $1, or about $1 less, not over $1. Sorry, about $1 less, which is really good, right? Second thing, which is really good here, is look at the hook rate. 40% of people are stopping and watching this and getting hooked with this piece of content. And another thing I want to touch base on here really quickly is that not always will a good hook rate equal a good creative. You see what I'm saying? Like this one here has a good hook rate, but horrible cost per purchase. And this is one that I recently did a new style of testing in, which is testing a bunch of creatives in a flexible format under an ad set. And you can see this particular one, none of these creatives in here were able to get to the spend nor performance that I want them to be at. Yet a few of them have really good hooks, particularly this one here. And you can see that it is a good hook if I go ahead and play it. Like that hooks people, right? Like you have this process going on. They're like, what is that? Like, what did he just draw? So what am I going to do now? And I kind of want this to also be a lesson in here, a side little gold nugget lesson, if you will. Take things that don't work, take ads that don't work and still learn from them. So if an ad has a good hook, but it's not working, you can still do something with that. You can still take, okay, well, we know this kind of weird hook gets people's attention. Now, does this part here turn them off when I slap it on my face? Or why aren't they now converting? That needs to be cracked, okay? So what you can do is you can take hooks that are working, ads that have a good hook rate, and you can take those hooks and place them on, let's just say, a winning sequence or a different winning ad. That's a fantastic way to get an ad sequence that worked before to have a new hook. That's a new hook that's working, that's grabbing people's attention, and kind of bring that ad back, get the performance back from that one previous winning ad, right? It's a great strategy. It works really well. So I'll probably apply that with this, creative in here. Okay, I don't want to go too much down that rabbit hole. We're talking about what makes a winning ad. yeah, what a winning ad looks like. So let's go ahead and actually play this since we didn't do that yet. This here is the creative that's been performing well here recently. There's a few things here that I want to touch base on. The hook here, it's moving, right? There's something happening. Something's coming out, like falling out of a bag. It's grabbing attention. Let me just make sure my battery's not going to die here. It's grabbing attention, right? And then we're utilizing a copy that I actually know is a good winning copy for us, like hook text, if you will. So I'm not surprised, right, that this here is performing. Because we have a winning piece of copy. We have a hook that's actually grabbing attention. You know, something's happening. The box is being pulled out. I'm like tapping it. Everyone's now wondering, you know, what is it, right? I didn't even show the product yet, which is interesting. And then I finally show the product here at the very end, and then I hit them with the offer. So overall, I think this is a great ad. And there's a lot of things in here that I'm gonna now start, playing around with, trying to take and iterate with, right? Let's touch on a few of those, just using this as an example now. This copy, again, this is your sign to get her a pet face necklace, the pet face necklace. You can, flip it around, and I have flipped it around, and I can see that just this is your sign part translates really well with my target demographic, and they purchase from that, right? Feel free to try it, right? So I'm going to be taking this, and I'm going to continue trying different variations of this. Where we're taking different music, where we're taking different B-roll, and we're putting this text on it, right? Why? Because we've already done that a few times, and it's resulted in a few winning ads with that copy. So it's a working copy for us. Yeah, so that's a few things actually that I would do. Another thing here that I'm kind of learning from this ad is I don't show the product until the very end. When I do show it, it's very clear. It's very clear product showcase, which is super important. But I don't show it at the very beginning, right? Which is interesting. I think it also causes like an aspect of suspense, right? It's like there's a suspense that's added in here, people wanting to see what the product is. Yeah, so those are a few interesting things that I find from this. This is actually a boosted reel. I made this, I made this and I posted it on Instagram Reels, and then I'm boosting this reel. Yeah. So those are my thoughts on this winning creative here. I'm going to continue to attempt to scale this. I believe this does have potential for that. Those are my thoughts on what I look for. Again, just recapping on that. Primarily, I'm looking to see, is it going to have a higher ROAS at an increasing scale, right? That's what I want you guys to take away from this is the ROAS and the cost per acquisition that you're looking for. Can it maintain around that while you increase the price? And I can find so many examples of this, of why this is so important. But again, we're looking at this one here today, and you can see if we just look at this month when we were running this creative, look at our ad spend. We're spending more and more and more money, and what's happening? We're getting, as we're spending more money, what's happening? We're getting more purchases, and as we're getting more purchases, what's happening? Our cost per purchase is roughly staying the same. That's what's important. Again, I'm going to just try to break this down as simple as I can. As the amount spend is increasing, and as you're increasing the actual scale of this, you see what I'm saying? Like the scale of this, the budget is increasing. What matters is that you see your cost per acquisition, your cost per purchase, your ROAS, right? Ideally, you're seeing that have a similar, like you see this blended, right? This blended view here gets me a $27 cost per acquisition. And I'm kind of bouncing back and forth, from here down to no purchases, right? Some days it didn't get purchases, and that's another thing that I think is super important to take away from this, right? Your ads are not always going to get purchases. Some days you can see there's like these days it didn't, 3 days it didn't get any purchases, and those days it spent the money but didn't get the purchase. I'm not freaking out about it, right? Why? Because the blended view of this ad set, or this ad, the blended cost per acquisition is staying the same. It's staying stable while I'm increasing the scale. That's what makes a scalable ad. 100% of the time, all of the ads that I ever scaled showed this, and were the let me think of the right word, and were the reason I was like, okay, let me take and scale it further. Hopefully that makes sense. I hope you guys found this valuable. I am going to catch you guys later. Take it easy. Have a good rest of your Sunday.